What is up, DTube Steam blockchain? So today I want to talk a little bit about the topic of will esports be replaced by AI? Now, I think this is a really interesting topic because especially the last couple of years, I think Google has had some AlphaGo software beating people in StarCraft and all these games. And we had the Go players, which was one of these like super advanced game, and more advanced than chess. And you had a computer that beat the best Go player. I consider okay, and then I look into, so you have this whole esports industry, and you kind of consider, are still people gonna care about these games if we can simulate them and if we can have like the best machine that plays it so much better and even if more creative? uh is humans still gonna play those games? Now some people say instantly already, like, well, of course people are always gonna play them. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure, to be honest, because I think it's gonna change. It may change. If AI is extremely good, it may not be fun anymore. If it can win every single thing, I mean, hasn't a lot of people had this experience? Maybe you're playing some game or something, and then your friend comes and they're better at it, and then you don't find it that interesting anymore. So can't the same thing happen if artificial intelligence just beats all these esports players and even makes better games? And I mean, like, invents games from scratch. Isn't that a possibility? Then actually, maybe it's a possibility that people fully stop playing games almost altogether because they would maybe see life more as a game, or maybe they would see that this digital world is silly and that they would want to go and do something else. All these, of course, possibilities. This may not be the case. Maybe artificial intelligence makes some more people want to be gamers. Maybe, yeah, maybe artificial intelligence increased the esports industry. But I don't think it's something that anyone knows at the moment what it's going to do. What is going to have value? What are people going to be drawn towards? I think this always is in a constant flux. So, for example, now we have this like gaming trend, maybe a little bit, but then we know that the next generation that comes 10 years later, they may not be that into it. They may be into something else. For example, we had a music generation, we had a gaming generation, and you have all these like generations that are into certain things. Um, Maybe the new generation mainly is just going to be more into artificial intelligence. So esports is really interesting. I mean, for example, how we've had it in crypto is, yeah, we have these silly crypto kitties, but then we have pretty interesting stuff like US Dynasty. But even those games, even though it's a little bit fun to click around and so on, like if we can have a machine that just creates so much more value, would we play these things? I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not really sure. Even like if we can create amazing games from scratch, like would people do that? Would they even care? Maybe they just wanna. Maybe they then would just chill, watch movies. I'm not sure. Maybe they wouldn't even do that. Who knows? But we know that humans change what they're doing, what they're into, and so on. So, so I can really see this aspect that artificial intelligence, first of all, is going to be able to beat all the players, and then I'm not quite sure how people are gonna look at like esports and like different like players that are like good at a certain game, because I already think it's right now that people can't keep track of all the players and all the genres and all the stuff that's going on. And when it's so digital, it really feels already there that I mean, it already is like a simulation, like some virtual event that happens in a computer, compared to the sports that you have that's a little bit more physical, where maybe you could say in the physical space that, well, you see it more, you see someone running and it seems like they're doing something themselves more. But it's like, I don't really think we know how humans are going to relate to all this new technology and what they're going to be into. Because we always go from past data. So we look at how things were in the past and then we try to extract, oh, it's just going to be more of the past in the future. But I don't really think you can do that anymore, because stuff can change so fast when people can make so much with artificial intelligence, and that when they can fully unleash their creativity, we don't really know if they want to do these things, like these esports things. Maybe they're just doing it right now because they're frustrated in life and they can't do something else. They never got another job or whatever. Like, we don't really know, but we're gonna find out. I'm fairly sure we're gonna find out quite soon if there really is any genuine value in this, and if people genuinely are interested in this, and like, or if it's just some group thing or some deeper psychology thing that people want to be a part of some group and that they just attach to anything. But maybe when people get more freedom, and maybe if they learn some responsibility, maybe stuff changes. Maybe people explore their own unique side with AI. Maybe they realize they can be happy by themselves and don't have to play games. Because maybe a lot about escape, maybe a lot about games is like trying to escape from thinking about your life. Maybe it's just a distraction mainly. There are different kinds of esports game, of course, but a lot of it seems to be kind of repetitive tasks that an AI would be able to do. Pretty amazing. And it's interesting. Yeah, you can level up some characters, and yeah, you're number crunching a lot, and maybe the story is kind of interesting sometimes. I don't really know. Like, I mean, it depends on different games, right? But I can see that a lot of more games are becoming so much more about the money and like trying to milk the audience, and that the story mode seems to not be that interesting anymore. So when this number crunching, like right now, humans can still be better than a machine with it, but when the number crunching, like when it makes no sense to do it as a human, and like when they're playing these esports games, they're doing a lot of calculations in their head probably. Should I do this? Should I do this action? But what happens when everyone has an artificial intelligence and like they can use it so in the game? It feels like, well, if you can have an amazing simulation of anything, like, would that really take out the joy out of it? It's interesting, right? Because eventually, maybe in 2050, we can also do this with physical sports. Maybe we can have, in like football and stuff like that, we can have robots running around and kicking the ball and be better than humans. But that's a little bit more far off. But especially with this digital world, it feels like stuff can be replaced much faster by artificial intelligence, and because it's more ones and zeros maybe than in the physical. I don't know. I mean, that's like getting into a weird space. But esports is a new industry, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. To be honest, it's going to be fascinating. I mean, eventually it's up to the humans. They have to like make a conscious decision how they want to relate to all of this technology, because there are many ways technology can play out, and a lot of people are looking more at it as, oh, this technology is going to try to control me, but maybe the technology frees you up so much that people freak out more from that. Like, people maybe get more freaked out about an artificial intelligence that can create any game you want, any experience you want, instantly, right? It's like you just paint it up or you just tell the AI what you want and it just goes and does that. And when everyone has that, it's like, I don't know, maybe it feels freaky. Or eventually, maybe everyone gets used to it, and maybe then everyone just goes and do something else. Who knows? We are gonna find out. We're gonna find out if artificial intelligence will replace esports. Mm, yeah. I mean, we know that we have all these niches of people that are that like to be into different things, and that it seems like there's always going to be that. So, but again, as I said, I mean, many games are becoming so generic and same, and it just seems like AI can just it can just come in there and like show like how lame computing with the human brain is, and that is like, well, we can just have this little device that plays the games better than you, and it can create stuff better than you. It's gonna be fascinating to see how that plays out. Because yes, because all this computing, yes, it can do. It can never be conscious though, like the robot or the machine. It can never be conscious, but it can create amazing digital stuff and maybe make it so well that we as humans feel that a lot of digital stuff is like that we don't even have to do it, and that maybe it was just an escape. Who knows? Yeah, some stuff that I wanted to talk a little bit about today in this video. It's gonna be fascinating to see if artificial intelligence is gonna replace esports or if we're gonna have them side by side. Because it can really change fast when you reach maybe quantum level computing. So right now it's a little bit linear. Like, yeah, we're getting faster devices, but it's not like quantum and like mega exponential changes. But that can happen. That can change like in a year. It can change very very fast. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, have a great day, DTube and Steam blockchain.